Hey y'all, Chad back here with episode 2 of my travels through the United States. So, the last time I spoke to you, I said that I was going to find a place to eat, a nice steakhouse, something like that. And I called around a couple places because it was last minute. There was no reservations here and there, and I ended up finding. But I wanted to go somewhere that was specifically a local type of place. I didn't want to go to a big chain. They have like the Palm and Morton's and all that, but um, I found this place called Perry's. It's a chain, but a local chain in Houston and surrounding areas, and it was nearby, so it was easy to get to, and so that's where I went. I sat at the bar. I had a really nice experience. It was a really nice place. If you're ever in the Houston area, I highly recommend Perry's. The food was good. Um, I had turtle soup, which I've never had before, and it was quite good, I have to say. The atmosphere was nice, dimly lit, wood accents, very comfortable, um, and the bartenders were very nice. These two guys, Anthony and Christian. I took some notes so I would remember some of the stuff. and It was just a great time. The people were friendly. As a matter of fact, I ended up meeting this gentleman who was sitting next to me at the bar. His name was Ty. He works for Oracle and was in town on a sales call. And coincidentally, he was from Charlotte. So I told him that I was from Charlotte, and we hit it off immediately. Well, not that I'm from there, but I had lived there. So we hit it off immediately. Uh, Also, coincidentally, he has a daughter who's getting ready to move to Australia with Dell, and I told him that I had spent some time in Australia, so we talked a little bit about that. And then he was remarking how he was staying around the corner from this place, and even though every day he thought to himself, I'm going to go somewhere else to eat today, being he kept gravitating back to this Perry's in Sugar Hill, and it turns out that in Charlotte, his hangout is Red Rocks in Strawberry Hill, which is where I worked for quite a while. He knows John Love, the owner. He goes there all the time. And I told him, well, this place has a very Red Rocks feel to it. And he's like, you hit the nail on the head. So for my friends who are in Charlotte, if you're ever in Houston and you want something that has a familiar feel and some good food and friendly service, then I highly recommend Perry's. Also, I highly recommend this wine I had. It was Alexander Valley Vineyards, and the name was Cyrus. It was a blend. Uh, Pretty expensive, but if you're only having one glass like I did, you can afford the splurge, and it was awesome. I enjoyed every sip of it. So after that, I went back to the hotel room, and of course, you probably have all heard by now about the explosion in West Texas, which is just outside of Dallas. When I got back to the hotel, that was all that was on the television. It's a devastating thing that happened, especially coming off the heels of what happened in Boston earlier in the week. So obviously, our hearts and prayers go out to those people. It's just very, very sad situation. We're looking at a death toll of 36 at this point, something like 50 homes completely leveled. It's a very small community of about 2,800 people, so it's a huge blow. Um, so that was a very sad note to end the day on. But the next morning, I woke up. I had to drive to Dallas, which is where I am now. So I came. There was some pretty bad weather. They had severe weather warnings from Dallas all the way up to Chicago. So I kind of held tight a little bit in Houston for a couple hours just to let the weather pass. And I'm glad that I did because there was some bad weather leaving Houston. Like I probably was in rain for about the first hour or so. But once it cleared up, the drive was beautiful. Just rolling green and fields of wildflowers, lavender and gold, just so beautiful. And so once the sun came out, it was a really nice drive. And not to mention that the temperature took a drop. So we dropped down to about, I would say yesterday it was a continual drop till at night it was in the 40s. And right now it's 10:20 and it's about low 50s outside. The sun is shining, the sky is blue, it's a beautiful day. So I got into Dallas last night, and I had some work to do, which I got accomplished. Did a little shopping. I needed to buy a new pair of jeans for work. Um, and then I asked the girl at the front desk, where was a good place to go to get something to eat. And she directed me to an area downtown called Main Street. Go figure, right? Main Street. So I found this little. I kind of popped into the first place that I found because it was already like 9:30, and in a lot of these towns, places, restaurants don't stay open much past 10. So I wasn't sure what the vibe was going to be like. So I just kind of popped into the first place I went. It was sort of like a local Italian restaurant bar. I had a chicken marsala, which was really, really good. All of their sauces are homemade, the bartender told me. And I met a nice couple of people who were sitting at the bar. Apparently, they live like in the building next door. Young, one girl works for, what was it? One of the Latin television channels, I think Telemundo. And another gentleman who works at a hotel downtown and asked me where I was staying. So I'm staying at the Hotel Lawrence. It's an old historic hotel. I knew it was like right in downtown, which is sort of why I picked it. Also, the storage happens to be right outside of downtown. So, like I said in the last episode, it's convenient for me to be near the storage. So I'm near the storage, and I have an opportunity to be in the downtown area and get the feel for the city. So he told me that the Hotel Lawrence was built in the early 20s. He told me that it has a reputation for being haunted, which I don't doubt because the minute I stepped into this place, I could feel the building. I mean, there's such a presence here, and although all of the amenities are modern, it has that old feel. It sort of feels like you're stepping back in time. And I really like it. To me, it's a very comfortable feeling, but I guess there's parts of the hotel which are considered to be haunted. Also, which I didn't know, there's a building right outside of my window, which I took a picture of when I first got here yesterday. If you follow me on Instagram, then you would have seen it. It's this old, beautiful red brick or stone building, which looks like a castle. Turns out that it's a museum now, but it is the original courthouse of Dallas. Not only am I across the street from the original courthouse, but apparently, if I look over to the left from my hotel, I could see the grassy knoll from where Kennedy was shot. I'm staying right in the quadrant of the city where Kennedy was assassinated. I didn't know that when I first came here. And right across from there, where the old public library was, they've moved the public library since then, but they kept it over there where it used to be, is called the Sixth Floor Museum. And it's a museum, it's a Kennedy Museum. Now, also, as a point of interest, this year happens to be the 50th anniversary of Kennedy's assassination. So they're doing a huge retrospective over there, and I do have a day on Monday that I think I'm going to go over there and check it out. So that will be interesting. Coincidentally, it happens also to be the 20th anniversary of the Waco situation, which Waco is just outside of Dallas on the other side of West Texas. So on the 20th anniversary, this whole little area is getting quite a little shock. This people at the bar last night also told me that West Texas, where the explosion happened, is sort of a mandatory stop on the way to Austin, which happens to be my next stop. They said that it's a small community which was originally started by some Czechs, and they're known to have the best Czech bakery in the country. And it's called the Czech Stop. And they say it's right off the highway, but it's in West Texas, that you go right through West Texas on the way to Austin, and that everybody stops at the Czech Stop on their way to Austin. So I think that the drive is pretty short. and I have the whole day to do it. So I'm going to stop, as everybody does. They said they have the greatest pastries over there. I'll pick a little something up, and pay my respects to the town. So again, these people were I want to say couple, but I'm not sure, to be honest with you. So I'm going to say these people were so kind. And the girl says to me as they're leaving, listen, by the way, we're pretty much here all weekend. So if you want to come to a place and see some friendly faces, please come back and join us, which I thought was really nice. Again, the hospitality here, bar none, awesome. I've not felt more welcome, anywhere that I've ever been than so far in Texas. Um, so that was pretty cool. And then after that, I hopped across the street. Apparently, right in that area, there's a whole bunch of bars and nightclubs. There was a nightclub right in the basement beneath this restaurant, so you can kind of feel the vibrations of the bass as they started to open. And then like across the street was another place called Sin, spelled Synn. And then across the street and over was a place called Plush. I mean, and there was just like kind of like a very, very, very miniature version of like South Beach. Like just club after club and restaurant after restaurant for like, I would say, a block and a half. So not a big, not a big version, a very, very small version. So at that second bar, it was really cool. It was called the One-Eyed Penguin, which I guess is some sort of sexual euphemism. But it was pretty cool. An upstairs bar, so you had to like walk upstairs from the sidewalk, and they had like pool table and all kind of weird decorations. They had an internet jukebox, which the patrons were playing, and I can tell you, the crowd there was so eclectic. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, every kind of person was there. You had people in business suits. You had white guys with dreadlocks. You had bikers. You had just every creed and color and size and shape. It was great. And the music, the same. When I first walked in, they were playing, like, I think, Swedish House Mafia. And then when I left, they were playing reggae. In the middle, I heard some White Zombie. It was like all over the place. Everybody was playing whatever they wanted. Everybody was enjoying everything, and it was great. I also happened to meet a chef over there. We had a pretty good conversation. His name is Scott Romano, and he works at Nick and Sam's here, which is an upscale steakhouse. And we got to talking. Apparently, he first was introduced to Dallas because he was a guest chef for the Super Bowl that was here. And so we shared Super Bowl stories since I helped produce Super Bowl events before in Miami when I was working with Touch in tandem with Live Nation. And then after that with SEG, I did some Super Bowl events for Hennessy and Belvedere. So we had a lot of production stories and stuff like that. We really hit it off. And then at the end, as I was leaving, he handed me his card and said, well, I guess you can't see it too good. I have the light shining so you can see me good. He was saying, he enjoyed the conversation so much. He thought I was such a nice guy that and he might have been a little drunk, who knows, but he was like, give me a call, and I'll treat you to dinner at my place. So, I figured that's pretty cool. I'll give him a call and see. I'm always up for a free steak dinner. So that's where I stand now. Today I have a pétanque tournament to go to. If you guys don't know what pétanque is, it's a French version of bocce ball, sort of. It's a little bit different, but you use the same kind of balls, and the game goes back and forth across the field of play. So it's similar to bocce ball, but not exactly the same. It's French, and with Veuve Clicquot, we often do pétanque tournaments. We did one on the beach in Hollandale, I believe over the summer. I forget now how long ago it was. But anyways, we're doing a pétanque tournament in the park today. And then I've got a couple events tomorrow. So I'm going to sign off here and get to work. But I just wanted to stop in, say hello, tell you guys what was going on. And, let's keep in touch, keep tuning in, and I'll keep making episodes. All right. Y'all have a good day. Bye.